Imagine this. No lights. No screens. No sound of machines. Just silence. Not slowly. Not in stages. But instantly. In a single moment, all electricity on Earth disappears. Welcome to Information World. Electricity is so deeply woven into our lives that we rarely notice it. It flows invisibly through wires, towers, and satellites, silently powering almost everything around us. But what if that invisible force vanished without warning? No countdown. No preparation. No second chance. This is not a story about inconvenience. This is a story about how fragile modern civilization truly is. The moment electricity stops, the world does not end with an explosion. It ends with confusion. Cities are the first to feel it. Skyscrapers go dark like hollow shells. Elevators freeze between floors, trapping thousands of people in narrow steel boxes. Traffic lights shut off at once, turning busy intersections into instant chaos. Cars crash within seconds as drivers struggle to understand what just happened. Trains slam to emergency stops. Subways grind to a halt underground, leaving passengers surrounded by darkness, heat, and fear. Inside homes, refrigerators go silent. Computers shut down mid-sentence. Phones die, not because the batteries are empty, but because the networks that connect them collapse instantly. The internet disappears in less than a second. No messages. No videos. No cloud. The digital world humanity built over decades vanishes like it never existed. Hospitals face a nightmare. Emergency generators kick in, but they are not infinite. They are designed for hours or days, not for a world where electricity never returns. Life support machines, ventilators, dialysis equipment, and surgical tools depend entirely on power. Doctors are forced to make impossible choices about who can be saved and who cannot. As fuel runs out, medicine returns to a pre-electric age. Airports fall silent. Planes already in the sky rely on electricity for navigation, communication, and control systems. Many modern aircraft could not land safely without powered systems and ground coordination. The skies become dangerous. Some planes manage emergency landings. Others do not. Nuclear power plants enter automatic shutdown mode, but even shutdown reactors require electricity to keep cooling systems running. Without power, overheating begins. In some locations, this leads to meltdowns that release radiation into the air, water, and soil. Not explosions, but slow, invisible disasters that poison entire regions. Within the first day, food becomes a critical problem. Supermarkets rely on electricity for refrigeration, payment systems, security, and supply chains. Without power, doors may remain locked. Even when opened, shelves empty within hours as panic spreads. ATMs stop working. Digital money becomes useless. Cash becomes king again, but only briefly. Water stops flowing in many cities. Electric pumps are essential for delivering clean water to homes and high-rise buildings. Toilets stop working. Sewage systems fail. Hygiene collapses. Disease begins to spread quietly, long before people realize what is happening. Night falls, and the world becomes truly dark. For the first time in generations, cities experience complete darkness. No streetlights. No glowing windows. No distant hum of machines. The stars return in breathtaking clarity, but fear grows faster than wonder. Without light, safety disappears. Crime rises as law enforcement struggles to operate without communication, vehicles, or coordination. In rural areas, life initially seems easier. Some communities still remember how to live without constant power. But even they depend on fuel deliveries, medical supplies, and communication with the outside world. Isolation becomes dangerous. Within days, global supply chains collapse entirely. Food production relies on electricity at every step, from planting and harvesting to processing, storage, and transport. Modern agriculture without power cannot support billions of people. Hunger spreads first in cities, then everywhere. Governments attempt to respond, but coordination without electricity is painfully slow. No satellites. No digital records. No instant communication. Orders must be delivered by physical messengers, radios that no longer work, or word of mouth. Power structures weaken. Local leaders and communities begin making their own rules to survive. Money loses meaning. Stock markets vanish. Banks cannot function. Digital wealth becomes numbers trapped in dead machines. Barter systems slowly return. Skills become more valuable than currency. Farmers, mechanics, doctors, and engineers become the most important people in society. Weeks pass, and the population begins to shrink. Not from dramatic disasters, but from quiet causes. Infection, dehydration, hunger, lack of medical care. The weakest are affected first, but no one is immune. The human body was never meant to live without clean water, stable food, and basic medicine. Cities empty as people flee in search of resources. Highways turn into graveyards of abandoned vehicles. Without fuel production, transportation becomes limited to bicycles, animals, and human strength. The pace of life slows to something humanity has not experienced in centuries. Technology becomes relics. Smartphones are useless bricks. Data centers are silent monuments to a lost digital civilization. Knowledge stored only online is effectively erased. Libraries regain importance, but much information is already gone. Months later, the world looks unrecognizable. Nature begins to reclaim cities. Plants grow through cracked roads. Animals wander freely through abandoned neighborhoods. Without pollution, the air becomes cleaner. Rivers slowly heal. The planet breathes again, even as humanity struggles. Small communities adapt. People relearn forgotten skills, farming by hand, preserving food without refrigeration, navigating without GPS, healing without machines. Society becomes local. Survival depends on cooperation rather than convenience. But the population is far smaller now. Those who remain live closer to the rhythms of nature. Days are guided by sunlight. Nights by fire and stars. Time feels different. Slower. Heavier. More real. The question is no longer whether electricity will return. It is whether humanity can rebuild without repeating the same mistakes. Electricity was not just power. It was speed. Comfort. Distance. Control. And when it vanished, it revealed how dependent we had become on systems we barely understood. This thought experiment is not about fear. It is about awareness. Because the more advanced a civilization becomes, the more fragile it often is. And maybe the real question is not what would happen if electricity stopped, but whether we are prepared for a world where it can. If this video made you think, don't forget to like and subscribe for more mind-opening content from Information World.